It was a sunny Saturday morning, and the local market in the small town was bustling with life. People of all ages strolled among the stalls of fresh fruits, colorful vegetables, and handmade goods, exchanging smiles and friendly greetings. The market was more than just a place to shop. It was a gathering spot where residents shared stories and reconnected. Among the market-goers was Lucas, a 30-year-old man recently unemployed and searching for a new direction. With short brown hair and a light beard, Lucas had a thoughtful expression and a look that reflected his current uncertainty. He had been laid off from his job at a digital marketing company, and now, with his savings running low, he was trying to find a new path in life. Lucas entered the market with a simple shopping list, focused on saving as much as possible. He walked through the aisles, carefully choosing the cheapest items and comparing prices. Although worried about his financial situation, Lucas always tried to maintain a positive attitude and remembered to be grateful for the small things in life. As he wandered the aisles, Lucas spotted an elderly lady trying to reach a can of soup on a high shelf. The woman, looking frail, had neatly combed white hair and wore a simple yet elegant dress. She stretched her arms out, but the can was just out of her reach. Observing the scene, Lucas immediately approached to help. "Let me help you, ma'am," Lucas said with a warm smile, grabbing the can of soup and handing it to the elderly woman. The woman looked at Lucas with surprise and gratitude, her blue eyes shining with a welcoming warmth. "Oh, thank you so much, young man. These arms aren't what they used to be," she responded with an affectionate smile. Lucas smiled back, feeling good about helping. He was about to continue his shopping when the elderly woman, with a gentle gesture, stopped him. "My name is Donna Helena. And yours, young man?" she asked curiously. "I'm Lucas, Donna Helena. It's a pleasure to meet you," he replied with a respectful nod. Donna Helena observed Lucas for a moment, seeming to ponder something. There was something in her gaze that suggested a deep perception, as if she saw beyond the surface. "Lucas, you seem like a very kind person. You know, I could use a little help with my shopping. Would you mind accompanying me?" Donna Helena asked, pointing to a nearby bench where she had left her bag. Intrigued and with no rush, Lucas agreed. He felt an instant connection with Donna Helena, as if she had an aura of wisdom and kindness that drew him in. As they walked together through the market, Donna Helena pulled out a small shopping list from her pocket and explained that she wanted to buy some specific items, but her vision and strength weren't what they used to be. Lucas, always willing to help, offered to carry her shopping and help her find what she needed. As they walked, Lucas noticed that Donna Helena was known and loved by many in the market. Several vendors and customers waved at her, smiling and exchanging a few words. She responded to everyone with a warm smile and a few kind words. Lucas was impressed by the affection people showed her and began to realize that Donna Helena had a special presence in the community. As they walked through the aisles, Donna Helena began talking with Lucas, asking about his life and interests. Feeling at ease with Donna Helena's friendliness and warmth, Lucas shared a little about his recent struggles. He talked about his unexpected layoff and how he was struggling to find a new job that motivated and inspired him. Donna Helena listened attentively, her eyes expressing deep understanding. She shared some stories from her own youth, times when she faced similar challenges. Her voice was calm and comforting, and Lucas felt like he was talking to an old friend, despite having just met her. As Lucas talked about his difficulties and uncertainties, Donna Helena offered words of encouragement and wise advice, speaking about the importance of never giving up and always keeping hope, even in the toughest times. Lucas was impressed by Donna Helena's wisdom and how her words seemed to resonate deeply with his own experiences. As Lucas and Dona Helena continued their shopping, the conversation between them deepened. Lucas, feeling increasingly comfortable, opened up about the difficulties he was facing. He explained how his layoff had been an unexpected blow, leaving him not only without a job but also without direction. Lucas had worked in digital marketing for several years, but never felt it was his true calling. Now, with the loss of his job, he found himself at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. "I feel like I'm lost," Lucas confessed as he picked out a package of pasta for Dona Helena. "I want to find something that really inspires me, but it seems like nothing makes me feel fulfilled." Dona Helena, listening attentively, nodded, her blue eyes reflecting empathy and understanding. She paused as she picked up a can of beans from the shelf, seeming to ponder her next words. "Lucas, sometimes unexpected changes are opportunities in disguise," she began, with a soft and wise voice. "I've also been through difficult times when it seemed like everything was falling apart. But over time, I realized that these moments are doors to new beginnings if we're willing to see beyond the difficulty." Curious about Dona Helena's life, Lucas asked about the challenges she had faced. Dona Helena smiled, a smile that carried a lifetime of stories. "When I was young, I always dreamed of traveling and seeing the world," she said, with a touch of nostalgia in her voice. "But life took me down a different path. I married early and for many years dedicated my life to my husband and our home. I have no regrets, as they were years filled with love and learning. However, I've always kept a secret passion in my heart: writing." Lucas, intrigued, encouraged her to continue. Dona Helena explained that during her youth and even in her married years, she wrote stories and poems as a way to express her emotions and observations about the world around her. However, she had never shared her writings with anyone, keeping them in notebooks hidden in an old wooden box. "I always thought my writings were just for me, a personal escape. I never thought they were good enough for others," admitted Dona Helena, with a humble smile. Lucas was surprised and impressed. He never imagined that Dona Helena, with her calm and modest appearance, had such a rich and creative inner life. He asked if she had ever considered publishing her writings, but Dona Helena shook her head. "For many years, I didn't have the courage. I thought no one would be interested. But now, talking to you, I wonder if maybe, just maybe, my stories and poems could touch someone," she said, looking at Lucas with a hopeful expression. Lucas, inspired by Dona Helena's story, felt a wave of empathy and a desire to help. He spoke about how many people are moved and inspired by life stories and how Dona Helena's writings could bring comfort and joy to many. "Dona Helena, you have a wealth of experiences and a unique perspective. Your words have the power to touch hearts and change lives. It's never too late to share that with the world," Lucas said, with conviction. Dona Helena was silent for a moment, absorbing Lucas's words. She felt a mix of emotion and fear. The idea of sharing her writings, something so personal, was daunting but also exciting. For the first time in many years, she felt a spark of courage growing inside her. "Lucas, you're very kind. Your words give me hope," Dona Helena replied, her eyes shining. "Maybe it's time for me to stop hiding my words and let them fly." Lucas smiled, feeling excited about the positive impact he was having. He realized that by helping Dona Helena consider the possibility of publishing her writings, he was also inspiring himself to seek something more meaningful in his life. As they finished their shopping, the conversation continued. Dona Helena talked more about her poems and stories, and Lucas shared his own passions and interests, which he had set aside due to the pressures of daily life. He mentioned his love for photography, something he had always wanted to explore more deeply but never had the time or courage to pursue. Dona Helena, noticing Lucas's enthusiasm when talking about photography, encouraged him to pursue this passion. She said that life is too short not to chase what we truly love, and that it's never too late to start something new. Lucas, life is made of moments and choices. Sometimes all we need is a little push to remind us of what really matters. Maybe this is your moment, she said, with an encouraging smile. Touched by Dona Helena's words, Lucas felt a renewed sense of purpose. He decided that, just as Dona Helena would consider sharing her writings, he would also give photography a chance. They said goodbye at the checkout, with Lucas promising to help Dona Helena carry her groceries home. As they walked towards Dona Helena's house, Lucas felt inspired and full of new ideas. He realized that the encounter with Dona Helena had not been just a coincidence, but perhaps the push he needed to change his life. After finishing their shopping, Lucas and Dona Helena walked together to her home, a charming red brick house surrounded by a well-kept garden. The colorful flowers and lush plants showed the care and love Dona Helena dedicated to her home. The house exuded an aura of comfort and serenity, perfectly reflecting the welcoming personality of its owner. Upon arriving, Dona Helena invited Lucas inside, offering him a warm tea. Lucas, enchanted by the cozy atmosphere, accepted the invitation. They settled in the living room, a cozy room decorated with antique furniture and mementos that seemed to tell stories of bygone days. While Dona Helena prepared the tea, Lucas observed the photos on the walls and the shelves filled with books, imagining the stories those walls could tell. Dona Helena returned with a tray of tea and homemade cookies. They sat down, and as they drank their tea, the conversation flowed naturally. Lucas talked about his aspirations, his love for photography, and how he had always wanted to capture the beauty of everyday life through his lens. He explained how the conversation with Dona Helena had inspired him to consider pursuing this passion, which he had set aside for so long. Dona Helena listened attentively, her eyes shining with interest. She smiled and nodded, encouraging Lucas to explore his creativity. Then, in a moment of contemplative silence, Dona Helena placed her teacup on the table and looked at Lucas with a serious but gentle expression. "Lucas, I want to share something with you that few people know," she began, with a soft voice full of emotion. "It's something I've kept to myself for many years, but I feel it's the right time to reveal." Lucas, intrigued, leaned forward, eager to hear what Dona Helena had to say. She got up and walked to a small shelf, where she opened a drawer and took out an old wooden box. The box was beautiful, with intricate carvings of flowers and vines. Dona Helena brought it to the table and placed it gently in front of her. "This box contains a very important part of me, something I've never shown anyone," she said, carefully opening the box. Inside were several aged notebooks, their covers worn with time. "These are my notebooks of poetry and stories. I've written them over the years as a way to express my thoughts and feelings." Lucas looked at the notebooks with reverence, feeling the weight of the history and emotions contained within them. He picked up one of the notebooks carefully, feeling the texture of the aged paper under his fingers. Flipping through the pages, he saw poems written in elegant handwriting, each verse full of depth and emotion. Dona Helena watched Lucas with an expression of vulnerability but also hope. It was evident that showing these writings was an act of great courage for her. "For many years, I've written just for myself, as a way to process my experiences and emotions," explained Dona Helena with a shy smile. "I've always loved writing, but I never had the confidence to share my writings with the world. I was afraid they weren't good enough, or that people wouldn't be interested. Lucas, still absorbing the beauty of Dona Helena's words, looked at her with admiration. Dona Helena, your words are wonderful. They have a depth and sincerity that are rare. I feel that many people would identify with them and find comfort in them, he said, sincerely. Dona Helena smiled, moved by Lucas's words. She explained that writing had always been a secret passion, something that helped her deal with life's ups and downs. She had written about love, loss, joy, and sadness, exploring a wide range of human emotions and experiences. My life has had many ups and downs, and writing has been my constant, my refuge, continued Dona Helena. I've always thought my writings were just for me, a way to understand the world around me and my place in it. But hearing you talk about your aspirations and your desire to find a purpose, I realized that maybe it's time to share these words with others. Lucas was touched by Dona Helena's honesty and felt a deep connection with her. He saw in her a kindred spirit, someone who was also searching for a meaningful path in life. He encouraged Dona Helena to consider publishing her writings, talking about how her words could inspire and comfort others who might be facing similar challenges. Dona Helena, your words have the power to touch people's hearts. They are a genuine expression of your soul and experiences. I have no doubt that many people would feel inspired and connected to them. You should share this with the world, Lucas said, with conviction. Dona Helena looked at Lucas, her eyes shining with emotion and gratitude. She felt a wave of courage and determination, something she hadn't felt in a long time. For the first time, she seriously considered the idea of sharing her writings, not just as a personal expression, but as a way to connect with others and perhaps help them find solace in her words. Do you really think people would be interested? Asked Dona Helena, with a shy but hopeful smile. Lucas nodded firmly, smiling at her. Absolutely. Your words are powerful and beautiful. They have the potential to touch many lives. And I would be honored to help in any way I can to make that happen, he replied. Dona Helena, feeling inspired and motivated, thanked Lucas for his kindness and support. She realized that the encounter with Lucas was not a coincidence, but perhaps a sign that it was time to spread her wings and let her words fly free. As the sun began to set, Lucas and Dona Helena continued talking about their plans and dreams. They shared more stories, laughed, and even cried together, creating a special and unique bond. Lucas felt a renewed sense of hope and determination, not just to pursue his own passion for photography, but also to help Dona Helena share her writings with the world. After the revealing meeting with Dona Helena, Lucas felt a new energy and motivation in his life. As he left the cozy house of the elderly woman, he held the poetry notebook she had given him as a precious treasure. Each page was filled with words loaded with emotion, wisdom, and a lifetime of experiences. Lucas felt he had found an unexpected mentor and friend who had inspired him to reconsider his own passions and dreams. That same day, upon arriving home, Lucas sat with Dona Helena's notebook and began reading the poems attentively. Each verse touched him deeply, as if each word had been written for him. The poems spoke of love, loss, hope, and resilience, themes that resonated with Lucas's own journey. He realized that Dona Helena had a unique ability to capture life's complexities in simple but powerful words. Inspired, Lucas decided to act on the conversation he had with Dona Helena. He knew he needed to pursue his passion for photography, something he had always loved but never fully explored. Lucas started researching photography equipment, learning about cameras and photographic techniques. He used part of his savings to buy a good quality digital camera and some basic accessories. Lucas began going out to photograph around the city, capturing everyday scenes that often went unnoticed. He focused on capturing authentic moments, true emotions, and the simple beauty of daily life. Lucas explored parks, busy streets, markets, and even community events, always looking for the human essence in every frame. As he explored his new passion, Lucas remembered Dona Helena's words about the importance of following our dreams and finding something that truly inspires us. He felt a new sense of freedom and purpose as he photographed, as if he was finally doing something he truly loved. Photography became a way for him to express his own feelings and perspectives, and Lucas started sharing his photos on his social media. To his surprise, Lucas's photos began receiving positive responses. Friends, family, and even strangers started commenting on the beauty and depth of his images. People praised his ability to capture the essence of people and moments and how his photos told stories that touched the heart. Lucas felt encouraged by this feedback and decided to take his passion a step further. He created an online portfolio, organizing his best photos into thematic categories, such as everyday portraits, the beauty of nature, and urban scenes. Lucas began entering photography contests and submitting his photos to local exhibitions. He also explored freelance photography opportunities, offering his services for events and private photo sessions. While Lucas was dedicating himself to his new career, he never forgot about Dona Helena and the conversations they had. He frequently returned to her house to visit, share his progress, and listen to her stories. Dona Helena, in turn, was thrilled and proud to see Lucas flourish in his new passion. She also felt inspired by him and, with Lucas's help, began seriously considering publishing her writings. Together, they researched local and online publishers, exploring different options for publishing Dona Helena's poems. Lucas offered his help to type the poems and format them, preparing them for submission. They also considered the possibility of publishing the poems on a blog or website where they could reach a wider audience. The collaboration between Lucas and Dona Helena turned into a deep and meaningful friendship. They supported each other in their creative and personal journeys, sharing ideas, encouraging each other, and celebrating every small success. Lucas felt grateful to have found such an inspiring friend and knew that without meeting Dona Helena, he might never have found the courage to pursue his passion for photography. At one point, Lucas decided to organize a small exhibition of his photographs at a local cafe, where he had made friends with the owner. He invited friends, family, and acquaintances, including Dona Helena, who became the guest of honor. The exhibition was a success, with many people praising Lucas's work and expressing interest in purchasing some of his photos. During the event, Lucas made an emotional speech, thanking everyone for their support and especially Dona Helena for her inspiration and friendship. He spoke about how her words had motivated him to follow his passion and how the experience of exploring photography had transformed his life. Sometimes, all we need is someone to believe in us and encourage us to follow our dreams, Lucas said, looking at Dona Helena, who had tears in her eyes. Dona Helena, your words and your story gave me the courage to pursue something I always loved. This exhibition is as much a reflection of your inspiration as it is of my work. Dona Helena smiled, moved and proud. She stood up and hugged Lucas, feeling a deep gratitude for having found such a special friend. Lucas, you are a talented and generous soul. Seeing you grow and find your path has been a joy for me. Never stop believing in yourself and the wonderful things you can achieve, she said with a warm smile. After the inspiring photo exhibition, the friendship between Lucas and Dona Helena flourished even more. The connection between the two deepened, with both supporting each other in their creative and personal journeys. Dona Helena, motivated by Lucas's success and the encouraging words he always offered her, decided it was time to take a brave step and share her writings with the world. Eager to help, Lucas suggested that Dona Helena publish her poems and stories in a book. He offered his assistance to organize and edit the material, ensuring that each piece was ready for publication. With Lucas's help, Dona Helena began reviewing her notebooks, carefully selecting the works that best represented her vision and life experiences. During this process, Dona Helena rediscovered the joy of writing. She was inspired by new ideas and began writing more, with renewed confidence. Lucas, in turn, was enchanted by the depth and beauty of Dona Helena's writings. He felt that her words could touch many lives and was determined to help share this voice with as many people as possible. As they worked together, Lucas suggested that they create an online presence for Dona Helena. They decided to create a blog where they could publish some of the poems and stories, offering a preview of what would come in the book. Additionally, the blog would serve as a space for Dona Helena to share her reflections on life, aging, and the importance of following one's dreams, regardless of age. With Lucas's help, the blog was launched and quickly began attracting attention from readers of all ages. People were touched by the sincerity and wisdom in Dona Helena's words, and many readers started leaving comments, expressing how the text had inspired or comforted them. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and Dona Helena was moved by the impact of her words. "Lucas, I never imagined my writings could touch so many people. It's an incredible feeling to know that something I created can bring comfort and inspiration to others," said Dona Helena, tears of joy in her eyes. Lucas, smiling, responded, "You've always had that power, Dona Helena. Your words are sincere and full of life. I'm so happy that the world can finally experience your wisdom." With the blog's success, they decided to move forward with the book's publication. Lucas researched publishers and self-publishing options, and together, they decided to go the self-publishing route to have more creative control over the project. They chose the title Echoes of a Life, Poems and Stories by Dona Helena, reflecting the introspective and reflective nature of the works. The book's publication was a success. The local community and the blog's readers enthusiastically supported the launch, and the book quickly gained notoriety. At an emotional book signing event at a local bookstore, Dona Helena, with Lucas by her side, signed copies of the book for a line of readers eager to meet her in person. She was radiant, moved by the warm reception and grateful for the opportunity to share her passion. "I never imagined this day would come," said Dona Helena, moved, as she signed a copy of the book for a young fan. "Thank you all for believing in me and my words." Lucas, seeing Dona Helena's success and happiness, felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He knew that just as she had inspired him, Dona Helena now inspired many others to follow their own dreams and believe in the power of their voices. As Dona Helena flourished in her new phase as a published writer, Lucas also continued to grow as a photographer. He began receiving more invitations for exhibitions and projects, and his career took off. Lucas specialized in capturing authentic and emotional moments, and his work gained recognition for its sensitivity and depth. Inspired by Dona Helena's positive impact, Lucas began incorporating storytelling elements into his photography. He collaborated with writers and poets to create exhibitions that combined images and words, exploring themes like love, loss, and the beauty of everyday life. These collaborations brought a new dimension to his work and allowed him to connect with his audience on an even deeper level. Dona Helena and Lucas continued to meet regularly, sharing their experiences and celebrating their achievements. They became an inseparable team, supporting each other in their creative journeys. Lucas often credited Dona Helena for giving him the courage to follow his passion, while Dona Helena always acknowledged Lucas's crucial role in helping her find the confidence to share her voice with the world. The story of Lucas and Dona Helena is a powerful testament to the impact of human connections and the transformative power of art. They demonstrated that, regardless of age or circumstances, there is always time to pursue our dreams and share our passions with the world. Through their friendship and collaboration, they not only realized their own dreams, but also inspired many others to believe in themselves and pursue their own passions. Lucas and Dona Helena's success as a writer and photographer was more than an individual achievement. It was a celebration of the human capacity to create, share, and connect. They showed that art, whether through words or images, has the power to touch hearts, inspire change, and bring joy and comfort to others. Throughout their journey, Lucas and Dona Helena discovered that true happiness comes from living authentically and sharing what we love with others. They learned that by supporting each other and believing in the power of their voices, we can achieve amazing things and create a lasting impact on the world around us. And so, the story of Dona Helena and Lucas continues, a story of friendship, courage, and the power of the arts. A story that reminds us all that it's never too late to follow our dreams, and that the connections we make along the way can change our lives in ways we never imagined. The trajectory of Lucas and Dona Helena not only resulted in personal success, but also in a profound transformation that touched many lives. The success of Dona Helena as a writer and Lucas as a photographer was just the beginning of a journey that continued to inspire and connect people of all ages. The publication of Echoes of a Life, poems and stories by Dona Helena not only brought recognition to Dona Helena, but also sparked a movement of appreciation for literature and art in the local community. The book became a symbol of perseverance and courage, and Dona Helena was invited to participate in literary events, book clubs, and talks at schools. She shared her story, encouraging young and old alike to follow their passions and never give up on their dreams, no matter the challenges they faced. Lucas, meanwhile, continued to grow as a photographer. His work, characterized by a unique sensitivity and an ability to capture the essence of the human experience, gained national recognition. He was invited to exhibit in art galleries across the country and began collaborating with other forms of art, such as music and theater, exploring new ways to tell visual stories. His career flourished, but he always remembered how Dona Helena's friendship and words were fundamental to his success. Lucas and Dona Helena also realized the transformative role of the arts in their own lives and the lives of others. Dona Helena's words and Lucas's images not only narrated experiences, but also provided a space for reflection and inspiration. The people who read the book or saw the photos were often led to reflect on their own lives, dreams, and aspirations. They began receiving letters and messages from readers and viewers, expressing how the works of both had inspired them to pursue their own passions or overcome personal difficulties. This feedback encouraged Lucas and Dona Helena to continue exploring and expanding their arts. They collaborated on a special project called Living Stories, a combination of poetry, photography, and oral narratives that captured the stories of ordinary people in the community. This project was a great success and highlighted the beauty and complexity of everyday lives, showing that every person has a story worth telling. The friendship between Lucas and Dona Helena became an example of how human connections can be powerful and transformative. They demonstrated that mutual support, the courage to be vulnerable, and the desire to share our stories can create significant changes not only in our own lives, but also in the lives of others. Dona Helena, now a recognized author and an inspiring figure, continued to write and share her experiences. She often reflected on how a simple encounter at the market had led to a series of events that transformed her life and Lucas's. She felt grateful for finding the courage to share her writings and for meeting Lucas, whose friendship and support were invaluable. Lucas, in turn, always remembered Dona Helena's words that inspired him to follow his passion for photography. He continued to explore new forms of art and tell stories through his images, always seeking to capture the beauty and truth of the human condition. He also became involved in mentoring activities, helping young aspiring photographers find their voice and pursue their passions. The story of Lucas and Dona Helena is a powerful reminder that serendipitous encounters can lead to unexpected and profound transformations. They teach us that it's never too late to follow our dreams and that the arts, in all their forms, have the power to connect, inspire, and transform lives. Through their journeys, Lucas and Dona Helena showed that true fulfillment comes not just from personal success, but from the ability to inspire and support others. They prove that by sharing our stories and talents, we can create a ripple effect of positivity and change that extends far beyond ourselves. Ultimately, their story is a celebration of courage, friendship, and the power of human connections. It reminds us that, no matter the challenges we face, there is always an opportunity to find beauty, meaning, and purpose. And above all, it inspires us to never underestimate the impact we can have on others' lives simply by being true, kind, and willing to share our gifts with the world.